Today is fine day in California.
Huh?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special episode of the Friday Night Frenzy, the one show where Wonder Bat is canon, and the topics, they're more like a set of guidelines. So, joining us today, we have two very special guests here. We have, first off, the man who always lords over the comics. We have Jared from Comics League.
Hello, Grandpa.
Frick you. Next up is a man for whom rooftop Korean is his favorite gender. We have Chris Fisk.
안녕하세요.
And last and certainly not least, we have our very special guest, a VIP, the man who puts the strife in Cloud Strife. We have Von Coleman.
Oh yeah, boys. Let's talk. We are in a. This is a very important matter to which I have already died on the sword for this topic, and I'll do so again.
You've died on the sword. How very Aerith of you.
Yeah.
And it's the topic that the American people deserve answers on.
Yeah, and here's what you have to understand. Let me get into this. The shippers have already made up their mind, but it's okay because it's still interesting. And I wanted to say that the debate, obviously, we'll have fun with it, whatever. But I think this is a game that means a lot. These are characters that mean a lot. And I think another thing too is that I like when the discussions can enrich the game's themes. Like, I'm in the opinion that the relationships that he has aren't just a love triangle. I think that's one of the reasons why people debate this one so heavily, is because they're both so thematically tied to the game's themes. Both Tifa and Aerith play huge roles in Cloud's character arc that I think people debate it in large part. Obviously, shippers do as shippers do, but also in large part because the end destination of this game is so heavily tied to his relationship with these two. Both of them are crucial in the final cutscene. The final image is Aerith. The final sequence is him talking about that, but also holding Tifa. And so I think down to the very ending of this game, you do have arguments for both sides. Now, I have my leanings, but I think that's part of why.
Yep, so Jared will be serving as moderator because he knows nothing about Final Fantasy. So he is the perfect impartial judge here.
So are we just spoiling the entire game for him?
Yes.
I have no interest in playing them, so go ahead, spoil away.
Wow.
Aerith dies at the end of disc 1. Bam.
Oh, wow.
I mean, do you also want me to tell you
and
that
Chris,
Darth Vader is Luke's
I
father?
played every Halo game. Don't you dare call me a Philistine, sir.
Yes, we all know Jared Fricks. We all know Jared Fricks.
Don't let She-Hulk tell you that.
Oh, Matt Murdock.
Continuing on.
Okay. Enough crappy television shows for one time. For me, I think one of the things is there's really two ways to look at this debate. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're playing games and when you're discussing ships, there are two very important lenses to look at it. There is who you, the player, would pick, because you're doing a role-playing game.
Right.
You're playing a role. This is your Cloud. What your Cloud would pick is different than one other Cloud. But there's also what would canonical Cloud do, like the actual character do.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of an important thing to because there's people when they argue shipping, it's like, oh, I want them with
right.
X because
their
that's
headcanon.
My character.
Yeah.
That's my character. That's who my character picked, because these games allow you to pick your romance options in the game. So this is a built-in feature of these games. Like, for example, with Witcher, it's like Triss or Yennefer. Sure, canonically, Geralt would go with Yennefer. But my Geralt goes with Triss because I believe in redhead supremacy.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. And adding to that, because look, we all have a role-playing thing. We all have our preferences. I always use this as an example, right? Like, if I was Sokka, because there was Suki was fun with him, and there was Ty Lee.
God,
I would have gone with Ty Lee.
Also
but canonically,
I'm a Sokka Azula shipper.
that is a horrible. That's what I mean. All right, so but we're talking like he ends up with Suki, correct? Like that's like so.
I mean, it doesn't. They don't really say. There's rumors that
at the end of the series
with Toph.
Oh, the blind one.
That'd be an interesting. All right, so I guess that might not be a great example, but the point I'm making.
Oh, Sokka, I'm so glad you saved me. Kiss.
Wait. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I could see it possibly. I feel like that's something they would have explained, though. No.
Okay. If we're going to do some Avatar shipping real quick,
we'll do that.
Toph, Sokka shipping as Val. There is a lot of like romance moments, especially from Toph. So I think that's valid.
Yeah. Well, it is, and this is another thing too. There's no shortage of romance moments for both girls. But I guess, laying out the ground rules. Well, I don't know how exactly you want to go about it. It's your show. Don't let us down, Vaughn. I will not. I did a 2-hour video essay, and I had to stop myself from writing more. I wrote 49 pages. I still could make more.
So you really went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It was as analysis of Final Fantasy VII, but my whole analysis of it basically was, at least from my point of view, that ultimately it does boil down to a love story between Cloud and Tifa, I felt. But I did hear some other thoughts that I thought were really interesting. But I'll tell you why I think it's those two.
So I'll just say this for I'm a Cloud Aerith shipper, but I'm also the other distinction is I'm doing this from a personal perspective of my Cloud gets with Aerith. As far as like the canonical stuff, I don't really put much stock into that stuff. For me, it's like, what would my version, my character do? And I really like Cloud with Aerith because for me, I like Aerith's got like the purity, kind of like that very kind of classical feminine energy, but also the classical feminine strength that I just dig.
See, it's interesting. You say that, and because I would argue the same of Tifa. A lot of people say like Aerith is more, or people will say that, which I find interesting because I'd argue of the two, at least in terms of behavior, the one that is more traditionally feminine in a lot of ways, I'd argue is Tifa. Yeah, she might be more, more active in terms of fighting, but outside of the fist fighting, really look at her behaviors. She's very quiet, she's very reserved, she's very much flirty. She's not as much of like adventurous as Aerith is. Aerith is very flirty, and Tifa is too, but in a different way. Aerith is more, let's hang out in the slums. Yeah, let's go jump across these things. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's run away from the like agents that are hunting me down. Tifa is very different. And so I think a lot of people will go and kind of act like Aerith's more feminine, but I guess they both are in different ways.
I worded that very poorly. I perfectly understood what you're saying. I think the problem is like it's a first impression problem. Yeah. Is you look at Tifa, okay? She's wearing sports gear. She does martial arts. She kicks all the asses.
Yeah. And people just assume things.
She does martial arts. People view as a very masculine activity.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, what is it? What do they call that? Tomboys?
Yeah, she's a tomboy.
We love our tomboy.
Yeah, that's basically a girl acting masculine, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yeah, the problem is we've now seen the modern lens that shoehorns everything into these really extremes. But Tifa's a tomboy, and it's totally like, dude, I'm into that, and I'm not into masculine chicks. So, it works. Well,
because they don't all look like Tifa. You know what I mean? If they all
that is true. You have a very good point there.
I mean, we all love a well-stacked tomboy.
So I guess, So I guess getting down to it. Well, okay, if we were to, because I was about to say
Vaughn, you're getting down to it?
Oh, I'm getting well down.
So the rating of the stream just went up.
So listen, here's the thing. So when we let's go and talk about, because we're going to argue. There's the perspective of you wanted to say who you go with as the player, and then who the character ends up with. Well, the topic of the stream is who's Cloud's true love. So because of that, we basically have established that we're arguing from a place of truth, not as much subjective. So going off of that point, I'm gonna say, from my analysis, analyzing Cloud's journey as a character, I feel that the natural conclusion is that he ends up with Tifa.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm actually going to agree with you.
So, and I'm not.
All right, stream's over, everybody. I'm just kidding.
So, because one of the things as I've gotten better at writing is you have to have almost like a through line. You could have as many things, whatever, but it's still the same string. Let's look at where Cloud's journey, his journey obviously is revealed to us in parts, but it ultimately, when you pull it out, having played the whole game, there is a clear through line. And that is he was someone who always wanted to be with Tifa in some capacity, whether it was friends or whatever. Then, he fails to save her. And the only reason he joined soldiers to prove he's strong, because losing her hurt him that much, set him on the journey. His arc basically toward becoming a hero starts because he failed to save Tifa, and it ends with him saving Tifa. The entire arc, obviously there's points in the middle, but it starts without Aerith and it ends without Aerith. Now, does that mean that Aerith isn't relevant? No, but I'd argue she actually helps in smoothing out some of the bumps and adding bumps as well, until the ultimate end game, which is Cloud and Tifa. So, for example,
and if we're talking about stuff being supported in the story, there's also a lot of things that support Aerith not working, because the problem is Aerith just sees Zack in her.
Yeah. That's that's the whole thing. Is that he masqueraded. Aerith fell in love with something that Cloud masqueraded as. Whereas Tifa fell in love with Cloud. So there's kind of that as well. You know what I mean?
As much as I want to, just agree, I am going to actually push back on that point because, and this is why I think it's important to engage with the other sides of the argument, is because Tifa kind of fell in love with the idea of Cloud, I think, and then it's almost like I think okay, because this is a tough part, because did she actually, I guess it doesn't matter when they're kids because stuff changes, right? I don't think it necessarily had to be love at first sight. But I would argue it was actually in some ways the reverse. In some ways, they were both kind of, because Cloud, you ultimately couldn't fall in love with the real Cloud during the entire time Aerith knew him, because he wasn't the real Cloud the entire time. You know what I mean? And I think one of the reasons why Aerith worked going into her arc is that I think she's almost the one of the few people trying to bring out the real Cloud. Like Tifa is too timid to. She's too scared because she's afraid of losing her idea of Cloud, because she's afraid of losing him forever. And Aerith is someone who kind of brings out almost like the confidence in both of them, because they're both too shy and awkward to make a move on each other. And I think it's really through losing Aerith that they're both able to progress, is my thought process on it. But I think one of the things with Aerith is Zack and Aerith reunite in a highly emotional union. Yeah, see, that would be interesting. But what I found funny revisiting the original game is Zack and Aerith were not like some star-crossed lovers as originally intended. That was added in Crisis Core. In the original game, she wasn't even necessarily her boyfriend. He was a guy that she was seeing. They added that in later.
Hey, Keely.
Hey.
We are doing a shipping wars between Aerith and Tifa. And Jared, as our moderator, how many points do you assign so far?
Vaughn has a more compelling argument.
Wait, so you're telling me the guy who came to a debate, who took the time to dress up as Cloud, has a better opinion about Final Fantasy VII than a guy in a t-shirt and a Witcher pendant?
You're wearing a Witcher necklace. It's the wrong game franchise. Come prepared, bro. Look at Vaughn. He came prepared.
I even have a Final Fantasy VII homage cover for my comic, which I could have been showing.
He even homaged the comic. Come on, Nick. You're slacking.
Which I need to do I need to do that for Return Samurai. Because it's a cyberpunk samurai thing. Just like the sword and looking up at the building.
Yeah.
Man.
Keely's saying hi to you.
What's going on, Keely?
What about the archetypes? For me, dissecting it or distilling it down to because you're making a love story here, okay?
Yeah.
And you've got these two, I would say they're diametrically opposed. And I know there's a lot of people that would say, no, there's actually a lot of similarities and crossovers between Tifa and Aerith, but I would say that it's more of a like they do this in a lot of young adult things because like women like dude chick prawn is basically just like a chick female heroine or whatever that's got.
I mean, look at YA dystopian novels. YA dystopian novels like, all right, do I want this guy or do I want this guy?
And
meanwhile, society sucks.
Yeah, but they're very distinct archetypes. It's very distinct archetypes. You've got, like with the dudes, like what is it, the vampire versus the werewolf? I can't remember their names, but like
I think it's Jacob one of them, Jacob and Edward.
Yeah. So when you look at like the love story that they're trying to produce here, it is kind of giving you that very diametrically opposed archetype. You've got Cloud, who's basically looking at this nurturing, I don't know, cling to the past. I'm sure there's a lot of things that we could probably put in that basket, but Aerith is a very, very, and you don't even need to talk about aesthetics at all. Like, I'm not talking about visuals. I'm talking about writing down characteristics on a piece of paper. If you put her next to Tifa, they don't even look like they're in the same universe, in my opinion. So you've got, like the way that the characters work, like one is like a rough and tumble freedom fighter. The other one's kind of a pacifist. One is more of a tomboy. The other is a very demure, I want to save the world.
Mindful, so demure.
See, it's funny you say that because, again, I don't know if I would agree with your assessment there.
Okay.
Well, Aerith definitely fits the girly girl stereotype there.
I mean, because, okay, who's the one, like we say that, but like look at their first introduction. Yeah, she's picking flowers. You know what else she's doing? Jumping over boards over a building about to die, jumping across rooftops, sneaking around, sneaking out of her parents' house when her mom's sleeping. This isn't the typical girl next door that people make Aerith out to be after she dies. Like this, Aerith was an adventurous kind of girl that would do that kind of stuff.
If I must say, one of the choices I do find interesting in the remake is they essentially gave Aerith Doc Martens. They put her in look at her shoes. That was very Doc Marten-esque, like kind of boots, which are more of a tomboy girl boot, to be honest.
See, I saw her as swept up in the revolution or the rebellion versus Tifa being a proactive, like, you know what I mean? Like one was in it from the beginning. The other one was kind of like,
I've been in this fight since I was 8 years old.
Yeah, it's hard to explain because just looking at the way that like because it was weird, like the way they did it in especially in the remake, where like Aerith is actually a pretty badass offensive character in the remake, but in the original game, no, she was a healer. She was the Final Fantasy default like the generic healer, and that came with it a very easy like shorthand list of characteristics.
Well, the thing is, the way Final Fantasy VII handles jobs is they basically use jobs as an archetype. Aerith is the white mage, and Tifa is the monk.
Yeah, the monk or the yeah, that makes sense. And now so we have that, and now we go to their things. And I guess this is why I also love the Final Fantasy VII characters. Is these two girls? Yes, they're these things we're describing, but they're very nuanced characters where they're also more than one thing, which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally give them both healing. Well, because it's useful, but also because they both are in some ways like obviously Aerith is the better healer, but like Tifa is very much nurturing to Cloud too. The problem is that because she's not honest with herself, it's kind of hard to properly heal when she's not letting him be open. And that is because she's so terrified of losing him. And I think part of why, again, I would argue while Aerith is alive, that Cloud is kind of leaning toward her.
Oh, speaking of that, that's something I want to touch upon. Like, that's kind of a major argument in like the Aerith versus Tifa. Is a lot of the Tifa people say she's not dead, as if like that's like an open and shut, like, oh, slam dunk, we win.
Yeah, that's not
like okay. Tifa's like the Tifa.
It's funny to say.
Argument. It's funny to say. It makes for good like soundbite or whatever, but it's ultimately kind of feel like it's a reductive argument.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's like people saying Gwen Stacy wasn't the true love because now I personally think Mary Jane is, but besides the point. There's
there you
more
go.
All right, Jared. That's
Vaughn, you just got even more points.
Yeah.
Trigger points.
Well, because it's also to be honest, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've only read the first couple appearances of Gwen. This is kind of a thing, but I just found her character almost like written similar to Aerith, where you see her in a more angelic light in retrospect.
Oh my God! Yes.
First couple appearances, Gwen is kind of a bitch.
Jared,
she is
Jared.
like she's like got this like snarl. She's like, oh, I like Peter now that he ignored me. Like she's basic.
And then she slept with Norman Osborn.
No! Get the.
My favorite Italian politician, Tifa. Yeah, incredible.
Oh, yeah. So actually, Vaughn, I think you kind of hit out upon a gold mine here of MJ being the equivalent of Tifa and Gwen being the equivalent of Aerith. I think that's actually a very, very solid comparison. What do you think, Jared?
I don't know if it's a 1-to-1.
I think it's pretty much 1-to-1 because MJ is she's a bit like obviously like she's more of like the rough and like the go-getter. She's got more of like the kind of thing. Whereas Gwen is the more soft-spoken person.
But the reason why
she was not soft-spoken in her first appearance.
Well, even on that, the reason why
bitch in her first appearance. Like, why is
he's getting the comics.
I know every time everyone loves to because we get it. We feel bad that she died, but like I read Death of Gwen Stacy years before I went and read her earlier comics. When you read her earlier appearances, she is not some like sweet innocent girl. Like she's mean.
Justin's comment.
Wow,
Justin.
That last sentence.
Justin, if you weren't such a loyal,
they did that, Vaughn. The reason why they did the Sin's past story was to knock her off her pedestal. That was their justification, and I'm like, there's 80 different ways you could do that.
Yeah,
Justin. If you weren't a loyal member of this channel, I would literally ban you right now for trolling.
Ban Gwen and Norman in the chat, ladies and gents.
Ban.
Tag the Phoenix Press on Twitter. Gwen, your favorite moment from Sin's
block.
You know, Brock can do AI images of that too, by the way.
Why?
Oh, Nick, you just opened up a whirlwind of whoop ass.
Why do you guys hate me so much?
Why? Because this reaction is why we get this comedy.
Also, a Black Reaper. It's always good to have you here. Oh my god.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, hang on. All right. Anyway, this is sorry. I was going off topic, going through I need to finish that run, but yeah. I mean, I think another thing too is my whole argument is I would argue, and I guess this is where people kind of get the whole he ends up with Aerith thing is because I would argue during the time that Aerith is in the game that she on the surface has a better chance than Cloud. But I would argue that that ultimate thematic purpose when all things are said and done is for her to further the characters and then they end up together after she's gone. That she like I always saw it, even maybe it's just because I was playing it this way. You know, everyone uses it as an argument of like, see, she starts with more affection points. That means that it should be that he ends up with her. And that's an argument I hear a lot. But my whole thing is like when I played the game, I got the Aerith date because it's easier to get the Aerith date. And I think that's because narratively it's a better story for him to be with Aerith at that time because he's not ready for Tifa. And then when Aerith passes on, that's the time for Cloud and Tifa to blossom. I think narratively, I think people are so caught up in their shipping wars, they're not seeing the bigger picture narratively. You know, at the end of the day, yes, it's a role-playing game, but it's also a story. And I think the story works better. I think if he has that almost last date with Aerith before she dies, and then Tifa is who he ends up with in the end.
I think on that, Vaughn, you actually bring up a good point.
Okay, go ahead, Jared.
I think the problem is you have a lot, and I encountered this in the comic book space as well. You encounter too many people that think their head canon is actual canon, and I'm like, no, all I care about is what's on the page. If they make it canon, that's one thing, but it has to be on, because here's the thing. I could make up whatever I want in my head. Like, I could have Lois Lane trip and fall and die. That doesn't mean it happened in the comic as much as I would love that.
Oddly specific.
That's top 10 saddest comic book deaths. Lois trips and falls. Action Comics. What?
that would be top 10 happiest deaths.
Chris, read John's comment.
There's
something about being green
in Marvel that makes your sexual partners questionable. Never.
Yeah. Wait, is he going to narrate what he's going to do to She-Hulk like he did to Deadpool? Pound that. I'm going to drill that like an oil derrick.
No. Please stop.
God damn it, Chris.
Stop. I'm already dead.
Chris never change.
So another thing about this debate is a lot of people when they play Final Fantasy VII, most of them never made it out of Midgar, first and foremost. But even the ones who did finish the game, not a lot of them really. They kind of do like a very surface level reading, and from a surface level perspective, it's very easy to think Aerith is the one, in my opinion. But obviously, if you kind of like more dive into the story and the nuance, then the truth emerges.
See, now why do you say that? I'm curious.
Because like I was saying, just like from a surface level, just with Aerith, and then also look at Advent Children, Final Fantasy, like the movie. Aerith is treated like a loved one that died, and it's almost like he settled for Tifa.
Right.
That's what it feels like. And the thing is, the reason I'm bringing up, all right, we have a Cajun Fury in the chat. I don't know how they got there, but because the thing is, Advent Children is a part of the OG timeline. That's how I'm putting it. It's like same thing with like Crisis Core and all the rest of them. You know that. So like I feel like bringing in Advent Children as a way for the OG timeline I think is a fair thing.
Okay. That's fair. All right. So I think Advent Children sucks balls, but like it's,
How dare you?
Hang on.
I love
Curtis
Curtis laugh through the mic even though he's far away. That's so
Dude,
good.
it's not. It's not. All right. So let's be honest. I've talked about this before and I'll talk about it again. Everyone cheers the moment that the main villain gets replaced by a different villain. He morphs Sephiroth, and then people are like, I like Kadaj. I'm like, did you cheer when Kadaj in his final moment as a villain turns into Sephiroth? Yes, because you wanted to see Sephiroth the whole time.
To be fair, it is actually a well done moment where it's like, good to see you, Cloud, and then One Winged Angel picks it and they like bats him away. It's like it's a very well done moment from kind of thing.
Sure. But I think that overall, I think the idea of him moving past even then, I think that it needs work. I think that the story is very muddied. I think it needed more writing. I think it's a beautifully animated film. But yeah,
it's one of those things where like it's good in parts. Like obviously the Tifa fight and the church scene is just great. To like the battle. My favorite moment in that is after she beats him. You hear the Final Fantasy victory theme, and then he bursts out, and it's like his ringtone. That's the joke, and I love it.
Yeah, it's well executed. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's overall. I don't think it's a terrible movie, but I don't think it is.
Oh,
spoiler alert! I've never actually played that, but okay. Now I know Kefka kills the Emperor and wins. I've heard 6 is great. I think. I think overall though that the story it's pretty clear when you play the game, in my opinion, that I think Advent Children. Do you think Advent Children? I guess we'll analyze it. Do you think that it leads more Aerith or Tifa?
I mean, it's hard to say because Aerith is dead, and like the people who say Aerith's dead, like that applies actually to this movie because
it does because she has a lasting legacy.
Yeah, and he's with Tifa. He's with Tifa in that movie, which, by the way, Tifa is voiced by Rachel Lee Cook in that movie. Ooh, and she actually voices Tifa in Kingdom Hearts.
I don't
Josie
think
and the Pussycats. Josie from Josie and the Pussycats is Tifa.
See, that's interesting because I know who she is, and I'll be honest. I don't think she does a good job at all.
Oh, you just pissed off Nick. I could see.
Dude, listen, go read,
coming.
listen to some of the cutscenes. Take your feelings away from the actress and listen to her fucking dialogue. The way,
if I can be honest, I think Rachel probably would have been a better Aerith voice VA. Her voice suits Aerith better.
Maybe, but it's not. It's just her the way she says things is like dilly dally shilly shally. Which, to be fair, no one could say that line and make it work. But it's like, I don't know. I just don't think her performance is the best in that movie. That's just me being honest. I really don't. I think Britt Baron is amazing as Tifa in the new ones, but I just don't see it.
So, fun fact, Vaughn, you played Halo 5, right?
No, I never finished 4.
Britt Baron plays actually one of the main Spartans in Halo 5.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. I heard Halo 5 was not very good.
Yeah, but
they tried to replace Master Chief and failed.
Yeah, with a diversity.
And then all of a sudden you have the TV show where they tried to turn Chief into Captain Kirk.
Hey Jared, don't you love how the game? It's like, oh, it's Locke versus Master Chief. They're gonna fight, guys. And then
that was the marketing, including in their little podcast audio series that they did. The fight is for one cutscene.
Yep.
I'm like, what happened? And then it's like, don't worry, Chief, we're here to help. And I'm like, what?
Hell of a conflict, guys.
It's like 30 seconds of fighting.
What we have to understand is that Chief is the expert in conflict management. Hire him to speak at corporate events.
No. Master Chief comes from the Anakin Skywalker School of Negotiations. He's the master of aggressive negotiations, which is negotiations just with an assault rifle.
Incredible. I think getting back to this, sorry, just real quick, because I mean, I don't even know if we have 2 hours because it's not a full on. It seems to me like everyone agrees, so I don't know who I'm debating with. But
don't worry, we'll find something to debate. I'll tell you what. I'll pose a question, and this will deter. Because since I'm the moderator, this question will determine which argument I think will win the debate. Here we go. So, of the characters, Tifa and what's the other character's name?
Aerith.
Which one's the most like Wonder Woman?
Most like Wonder Woman.
I'm asking for a very specific reason.
Oh, I know the reason.
Which is the most like Wonder Woman? Well, I would say
Yuffie.
No, Yuffie is nothing like Wonder Woman.
Of the two options, Nick.
Yeah, I know, but even if that was an option, that still would be wrong. That'd be. But of the
Nick
two,
is always wrong.
I guess I'd say Aerith. I think in terms of physical looks, Tifa, but in terms of like personality,
I was gonna. In terms of ability, actually, I would say Tifa actually because Tifa is obviously more the brawler, but the thing about Wonder Woman is yes, she's fierce, but she's also like very empathetic and like nurturing.
Ooh,
so
yes,
I think Tifa is very much Wonder Woman.
But I think that she would have to have Aerith's confidence. Okay. Tifa with Aerith's confidence.
So what we will do is we will flip a coin then in that case.
Oh God, this is what this has come down to.
But I wanted to and then I wanted to get back to Advent Children because I never
3, 2, it's flipping heads. Heads is Tifa.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know what that proves, but all right. Back to the discussion. I will say with in defense of Team Aerith, there is a reason Cloud cameos in the best FF Final Fantasy. I hear that Tactics is very good.
Oh God, it is. I hear they're actually going to do a remake of it.
I think one of the things with Advent Children, I remember one of the reasons why I was iffy about it was Cloud is just I understand that he's supposed to be emotionally reserved, but it's to a detriment where it's like I don't think they convey what he's feeling as well as they could. I think also so it seems to me like what the movie is about is that it's like he hasn't moved on from Aerith. Is that what I'm understanding? That the movie is kind of
basically Cloud's arc in Advent Children is to be proactive. is to stop running.
Yeah,
because he's a delivery boy, and he's always like Rufus Shinra comes in and it's like, no, I'm a delivery boy now, or whatever, and it's like he's always like reacting.
Yeah, and I think part of why that movie doesn't work for me is because it had this problem. How you doing? It had this problem.
Hey, Nix.
Where it was like, and I think this is the problem that a lot of stories will have when it's become almost too big for its own good, is where you kind of want to revert back to what was instead of going forward and making the characters change. Like, so we want Cloud to be the quiet, unconfident guy that he is in the beginning, or the reserved, emotionally reserved guy that he is for most of Final Fantasy VII. Right? That's what we want. We want the will they, won't they with Tifa. We want. And so I feel like they had to project these things because they wanted that going forward. And maybe this is just me, but it felt like they were afraid to give an answer on the Aerith and Tifa thing. And again, maybe that's just me projecting. I could be coping. I don't know, but I don't think I am. But because the reason I say that is it almost feels like Cloud went back, because going back to how he talks by the end of the original Final Fantasy VII, even like after the live stream sequence, before they go down into the crater, Cloud is confident. He's a guy who's accepted where he is. And so to have him not be that in Advent Children, I understand sometimes people go back, but it felt like we were regressing on his character arc. And I think that's why it bothered me, is because I love his character arc in the first game. And I almost would have rather it ended there than reversed back to how we got in Advent Children.
Like the Han Solo effect.
That's a good point, that he goes back to being a scoundrel. Like, yeah, it's kind of like that. We want to see the way they were when they were the most popular, and so we regress the character, and it's a problem.
The way I see it, though, because I absolutely adore Advent Children, especially the complete edition. Mm-hmm. But the way I see it is that Cloud's still grieving Aerith's death. Like, even if it isn't in a romantic sense, he did still love Aerith dearly. They all did, and they're all grieving in their own way. But Cloud took it the hardest because in his eyes, he was the one who ran her through. He was the one who ended her life, even if it wasn't.
I didn't still want to say anything.
High five.
That's what she said.
Yeah. There's all of a sudden in the background, we don't know, but because Chris doesn't have his camera, but he's got a bunch of tissues. He's like, "Oh, okay."
I'm sorry, Nick. You said something that was accidentally hilarious.
But so like, and I as someone who's lost someone quite not recently, but in the last 15, 20 years, kind of, sort of ish. Mm-hmm. I definitely understand his grieving process, because especially for someone as introspective as Cloud is shown to be, even with his confidence, and from like everything else we've seen of him, like as a child and whatnot, he can be very sullen when he gets in that mood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't see it as him going back on his character development, just kind of him trying to process his grief in the only way he knows how.
Yeah, I'm agree. It's kind of like a movie about getting over grief. No, I get that. I totally get that. All right, and I don't want to say the movie is totally terrible, right? But it just, to me, I don't know, it feels like it's missing something. But I definitely see that. Like, it's almost like him driving away is him running away from his problems.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And the only reason he gets out of it is because of Marlene. Let's be honest. Tifa helps, sure, but it's mostly Marlene and Denzel getting into trouble that brings Cloud back, because
oh god, Denzel, there's a plot device in search of a character.
Yeah, what was that about? Yeah, like that was
like, so I like Marlene is great, but Denzel is a freaking plot device.
Well, Denzel, it was like they have this big reveal that like he lost his parents because of the reactor, and I'm like, that is so cool. That was that little detail, had it been followed through, would have been more interesting than the whole geostigma thing.
You gotta go and read the books, unfortunately.
So it's an ad for the
homework.
All right, hang on. You know what would have been better? I'll say better plot than Advent Children. You ready for this? So how about an innocent someone that they're getting a new world order, and whatever, and then you had someone who lost their parents due to avalanche who wants revenge on Cloud Tifa and Barrett because they lost a loved one, and now they have to rectify their past sins in order to move forward. That's more interesting.
Sins past.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it as soon as you said it.
That's the new plot for the upcoming Kill Bill movie, by the way.
Wait,
Really?
what?
Do you remember Verena Green? Do you remember what Beatrice Kiddo said to Verena Green's daughter that witnessed her mom's?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
She said, "If you're still sore, you come and find me." There you go. That's Kill Bill.
Is it coming out?
Nice.
I'm not sure if it's coming out, but there are interviews where Tarantino
But it's going to star
mentioned it.
Zendaya. Zendaya is going to be the woman in the
Ew.
next
Yeah, that's
No.
Why is she's in every movie ever?
Yeah.
I don't
I
get
don't
it.
think she's that good of an actress.
Neither do I. I don't, and I'm not like being mean about it, but I just don't see. Like, I think there are better actresses out there. I don't know.
I agree. The thing about Evan Children is it's a Cloud and Tifa movie.
Well,
Like the fact that
I don't agree with that at all. They have the scenes they have together are like not that great in my opinion.
Well,
but
yeah,
the thing is,
Yuffie
they're
and
the
all
only
them come
two
out of
people
nowhere.
driving the story, is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you have everyone else
the
go for the
antagonist
highway.
drives the story too.
Yeah.
Kadaj, Yazoo, and Laws do drive the story quite a bit. Like Laws comes out and they have the big fight. Him and Tifa have that big fight, and he steals the children in the materia. I think that's a pretty big driver. Also, I love the cosplay. I'm just gonna say it.
Thank you.
But
I appreciate it.
See, Nick, this is what I was saying earlier. Vaughn showed up prepared. Nick did not.
Yeah,
You're so lazy.
Yeah, you should
Jared,
dress
no
as.
points.
You should be dressed as. Hang on, who would? I don't know. I'll think of it. I'll think of something.
An ancient elder.
I have to dress up as I have to
Bugenhagen.
Dress up as Marlene. I was going to say dress up as Marlene.
I don't want you to dress up as a little girl. I really don't want to visualize that.
All right, Nick, what
I'll
are you saying?
do a whitewashed Barrett or a yellow-washed Barrett.
All right, Nick.
Well, this went off the rails real fast.
All right. Speaking of, wait.
Oh wait, Jared, read this one.
No! Disavow. I disavow.
Jared, read it.
That's
Jared.
gotta be the plot of the next game.
no.
Jared, read it.
I
Final
refuse
Fantasy
that.
Sins Pass. It's that where it turns out Aerith and Hojo are in a secret relationship and had secret children that show up to attack our heroes as the gray weapon.
Now I'm gonna.
Well, it
explain-
wouldn't.
I
Be,
want
it wouldn't
that.
Be, no,
No,
it wouldn't
so-
be Aerith and Hojo. It would be Aerith and Sephiroth.
Aerith and Red 13's children because they were gonna.
Oh no, God, no.
Actually, funny thing about Aerith and Sephiroth, because if you notice why they look kind of similar in the
Yes,
final
they're gonna
game,
be
because
siblings.
they were about to be siblings, so that also wouldn't have worked in like the first draft of that.
That's not legal in this state.
Yeah, that's. I remember I went through that on a stream not that long ago. I actually went through that. I was showing the character, and I was that's why they have the same exact hair. Like, yeah.
Didn't you know that that like the world of Final Fantasy VII, it has its Ozarks
What do you mean?
where you paddle faster when you hear banjo music.
You got pretty lips for a boy.
Squeal like pig.
Oh boy.
I would say, as much as I'm not too fond of the more modern stuff going on with Final Fantasy VII, there are some things I like about the quote unquote remake, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And also, I don't like that it's on like mobile devices, but the new Final Fantasy thing they got going over there too.
Is it good?
It's
Okay.
story-wise not terrible. I haven't played it myself, but I did see that we get to see like young Sephiroth before he was like officially like the badass we all know and love him as.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it's adorable.
Is it when his Masanume was only 4 feet tall?
It grew with him.
Yeah. When he hit puberty, it really took off.
Wait, what is that mobile game called? I was told to watch the cutscenes.
No. What you don't realize is,
it's First Class or some shit, right?
Whenever
First Soldier.
Sephiroth feels like killing, his Masanume grows to be 8 feet long. It's just a coincidence that his Masanume is only
Now,
8
come
feet long.
on, Nick. You know it's rude to start comparing sizes.
Wait, so if they blackwash him, is it going to be like 20 feet long?
Shut the fuck up.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, so is the first soldier? Are these cutscenes worth? Oh my god, it's 3 hours long.
Woo! Well, we know what Vaughn's doing.
I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch.
Well, do we want to see Vaughn's search history?
What's going to be my search history? It's going to be the latest search would be FF7 Ever Crisis. So first of all, these goddamn titles are so.
Right?
FF7 Ever Crisis.
Italian Tifa. That is literally.
Wait.
Oh, by the way, Nick.
Ever Crisis First Soldier. What? What? Is it a spin-off? Wait, FF7 Final Fantasy 7 Ever Crisis First Soldier Season 1 the movie. Are you fucking kidding me with this title?
By the way, Nick,
version of that?
real quick, do me a favor. Share my screen.
No. Oh god.
Oh god, is it a dick pic?
Oh! No!
It came across my Twitter page. I had to do that.
So, all right, I gotta do this. I gotta show for a second. Jared, can you explain that?
Oh
please?
yeah. So Nick is a huge Rings of Power fan.
Wheel of Time.
Sorry. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to see is the TV because he read the books. So I was like, hey Nick, how accurate is the TV show to the books? And he goes, not in any way. So for his Patreon, we did a video where we live reacted to the episode, and they couldn't even make it 2 seconds before he was like pausing stuff, saying that's not right.
That episode is a Patreon exclusive. So if you go sign up for my Patreon, you can go watch it. And once I get to five patrons, I will be doing the rest of season 1. When I get to 10 patrons, I'll be doing season 2. And I guess now when I get to 20, I'll be doing season 3. So link is right there. So if you want to make me watch the Wheel of Time show, there you go.
Want to torture our illustrious host?
Yeah.
All right. So, oh wait, sorry, what were you guys saying? I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, sorry, I was doing a shill, so.
No, it's so good. So you're doing your job.
All right.
So what else do we got? All right, so continue.
So currently there is a South American trading card game.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can just talk about like other do ship wars for other things. Like we were doing Avatar.
But we were not done. No, we still got more to go.
Yeah.
No, you see what happens.
No,
you know what just happened is that Nick knows he's clearly losing, so he's trying to.
Well, Nick, you're supposed. This is the
argument.
problem I had. Is Nick came in agreeing with me. Do you realize how debates work? You have to have like.
Yeah, Nick.
Vaughn, you're wrong. Everything is wrong. Your cosplay is wrong. Your hair is wrong.
My hair is wrong.
Nick.
The only thing that's right is your comic book. That is the only thing that's correct.
Nick, I'm gonna say.
Well, hold on.
Just saying you're wrong is not a valid method of argument, sir. As the moderator, otherwise I will mute
Can we
you.
rewind the footage to when he said I was right?
Yes,
Wait.
yes. Tifa's.
Wait, muting me, you say?
Interesting. So hold on. I mean, yeah, this isn't barely even a debate. Like, because I was gonna go tooth and nail. I thought there'd be someone who disagreed with me on the panel.
I thought there was going to be another Aerith representative. So
what do you mean you thought? Who was this mysterious representative?
I don't know. Like I thought you said you were going to bring someone. I guess I was mistaken.
I was like,
clear, Nick.
Yeah, you got to make it clear. I would have totally done that.
All right.
Okay, so.
So,
Here we go.
I wanted to say.
Waterworks.
We'll pick the one that has not been ran through according to Nyx.
Yeah, so really when you think
I told
it,
like a bunch of people
survived,
that were both Aerith and Cloud to watch in the chat, thinking they'd be an interesting debate,
Well,
and then there was
the
no
thing.
debate.
Here's
It's
the thing,
just
at least Tifa can dodge a
a
sword.
circle jerk. I'm sorry, the Aerith
At
fans.
least Tifa can actually dodge a sword.
Well, she
In
actually
defense, it came out of the thin air.
Yeah, hold on. Now, first of all, Tifa did get slashed when she was a kid. So
She can get run through.
But she was.
God damn it.
I am sorry, Nick.
This is
I'm
someone that has
sorry.
no idea about Final Fantasy. I'm just doing this as a troll. So.
Yeah, no, I respect it. I respect it.
So, Vaughn, you're an Avatar.
Well,
guy,
I would
right?
also, however, I would also argue that whether you get stabbed or not has nothing to do with your, if you're a woman, especially, I don't think Cloud is going to be like,
women love being stabbed.
No, I'll tell you what.
I'm sorry, what?
I'll tell you what. I'll give the
I think Ted Bundy said something similar.
I'll give the
Guys, I was just told by my niece I'm not allowed to laugh anymore, so no making me laugh.
I'll tell you what. I will give the win to whichever female character is not mortally challenged currently.
Yeah, I don't think that's
right.
Yuffie wins. Yuffie wins. Yuffie wins.
No.
Of the two options, Nick, of the two options available.
It's three options.
Okay.
No, it's not three options, Nick. Stop changing the rules. I'm the moderator. I decide the rules.
And I'm the guy that can do this.
What?
Well, can we all agree in the Advent Children film that last 10 minutes battle was where they had like the ensemble cast reappear was so pointless?
I mean, the whole fucking movie was pointless. The whole movie.
They have these. So, like, I watched this movie with somebody who was not familiar with Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're gonna have no idea because the characters show
like,
up.
Who the hell's this bitch?
Yeah,
like, that's Yuffie. They're like, I don't care.
I want to watch that movie with someone who's never played Final Fantasy VII.
So
they'll be so
because like the ending.
Okay.
All right, so first of all, what the hell was Barrett's outfit?
What was that?
Why did he have that mesh shirt? Like, why do you look like he came back from a rave? Like, that was so bad.
And then
he was raving with Maurice.
So you have to understand, as they go through this entire movie, it's Cloud and these two chicks and children, right? And then out of nowhere, you have this. Really. Oh yeah, I forgot one's dead. So you have
yours is a ghost.
Two girls, one sword.
Vincent, I will say, good on him for being there as much as he did. But then out of nowhere, you see like this guy with a gun for an arm, and then a talking dog and a talking cat come out. And correct me if I'm wrong, there was no precedent for anything like that.
Are you saying this movie? Are you saying Advent Children is a Disney movie?
I'm saying it's no.
You need a lot
absolutely
of homework.
Not. You need. But even having played the game, because I knew what was happening, but I just was like, okay. I don't know. Like, I enjoyed it the first time I watched it, but it doesn't. To me, it's like a lot of the discussion about that movie is people projecting things onto it that aren't really that prevalent, and you have to like really analyze it to really. I just don't think it's a very. I watched it a second time in theaters, and I still hold by that. I think it's not that good of a movie.
Here's my opinion is, it's a movie where the sum of its parts does not equal its whole. Like, if you view certain scenes in isolation, they are very entertaining. Like the Tifa scene, a lot of the action is actually very good, very well done. But like the story itself is weak at best.
I want to defend it as like one of its biggest fans.
Oh, I apologize.
I have the whole thing.
Okay. I'm sorry. We got to bring in Miss Thirsty Pants here.
Didn't she still die though?
Who?
Jessie.
Miss Thirsty Pants?
Yeah, Jessie.
Oh,
she was thirsty AF for Cloud.
She was, and then she's very dead. Yeah.
She wanted his Buster Sword.
Also, I just want to say, the voice actors for Jessie is the same one who did Misty in Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh shit.
Okay, so defending the movie. It's clearly a movie made for the fans, and I really like that as a fan of Final Fantasy, because you don't like when a really big popular IP gets a movie, it's always in a way that for newcomers to enjoy too. And I don't like that as much. Like, it's still good. Like, Mario was a movie for newcomers as well as longstanding fans.
Please tell me you mean the recent Mario, not the one from the 90s.
Well, obviously,
no, she means the ones from the 90s, Nick.
Ew.
I mean, oh god.
Anyway,
trust the fungus, everybody. Trust the fungus.
Advent Children, especially the complete edition, like with all the scenes still intact and everything. It's a great movie as long as you're a fan of the series, because I don't want to say who cares about where all the rest are going with life, but but we see that things are kind of going better in their lives to some extent. Hell, Vincent gets a whole ass game to himself.
Oh god,
How his life's going. But like Cloud and Tifa are the ones with the biggest kind of, because they're kind of more directly, at least as I've always seen it, the protagonists.
Well,
and I think no matter what, we can agree Advent Children is still better than Spirits Within.
Oh, much better.
I haven't seen Spirits Within.
That's not even a debate.
It's really bad. Nobody saw it. It's terrible.
Like, Spirits Within is not even a Final Fantasy movie. There's nothing Final Fantasy about that movie.
The ghost.
No. Also, I just want to say, Vincent's scene where he when he comes in at the end with the battle, he's like, "Anyone know where I can get a phone?" That's hilarious, and it was set up perfectly too. When Marlene's asking him in the cave, "You don't have a phone?"
Also,
I would have preferred.
He shrugs adorably, like very awkwardly. I'm like, "Yeah, that's Vincent."
Honestly, instead of Advent Children, if they were smart about this, they should have just done a movie remake of the game, because they have the popularity of the game. Introduced to the Final Fantasy universe new like movies should not be for niche, because you're trying to get.
Well, all right. Again, this is my problem. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say? I think.
Yeah, go ahead, Vaughn.
Because I had ideas for a fan film, like how I would take the story after it ended. And to be fair, again, I'm more biased towards Cloud and Tifa because I just think that's how the game ends. But I just think that I just feel that the direction they took the story felt very, again, corporate, and like they had to retread. They had to bring all these characters back. They had to bring, because I even heard it that they didn't want, that someone up top said Sephiroth needs to be the villain again. They're like, what do you mean? He's like,
he's dead. He's gone.
So it's like, I feel that they did that. I feel that it was also Cloud needed to be brooding. I think it was all these things that had to be the case. And so I think because of that, the movie kind of goes back.
Character reset.
There was a lot
of character retread.
Reset.
And it was a retread, but it was a half-assed.
Exactly. I don't think that just because it was made for like the fans. Well, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy VII because I thought it was a great story with great characters. I don't think the movie delivered on those things. I think it reused those characters in a less interesting way.
Mm-hmm. I think that if Advent Children came out after a movie version of Final Fantasy VII, it would have been better received, and they wouldn't have needed the Sephiroth villain. They wouldn't have needed all the stuff you just mentioned, Vaughn.
The problem is
Rufus Shinra and Sephiroth, the two main villains, both come back just to die immediately. Are you kidding? Like, what is Rufus Shinra? He sits in a chair and then he dies again.
Did he die though? I didn't think he died.
Didn't he?
I'm pretty sure he jumped off a building, but it was because he knew that his Turks would catch him.
Oh, okay, right. Well, the Turks, I will say, they see them I liked because
they got
the Turks
hard.
Because the Turks I liked because the Turks felt like they were progressing.
Looks like
as
we're
characters.
clocking out early.
Like the Turks totally progressed as characters. They're not the same characters at all as when we last saw them, but you could say, oh, I see how they progressed to that point. They're redeeming themselves. That I liked. If every character was like moving forward in the way, and I get that the point is, Cloud's avoiding the thing, he's running back. He's running from his responsibilities. Also, I'm sorry. Why are we focused on Cloud and Tifa raising other people's children?
Message. Don't reproduce.
Okay. So if you're talking about Marlene,
Barrett being a deadbeat dad, like
he's not really being a deadbeat dad. He's basically he's prospecting for oil, not something you could really bring a child on.
Yeah,
he has Tifa and Cloud look after Marlene while he's away.
Come on, Nick.
Marlene was basically
be on an oil rig builds character.
Yeah,
quit your crying.
You got another hand.
Jared, this isn't Armageddon. Shut up.
What are you talking about? Of course, it's realistic that an oil rig team that would be able to destroy an asteroid.
Oh, okay. I love how Ben Affleck actually questioned Michael Bay, and he told him to shut the F up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I do like the Turks in there. They made him look really cool. I would have loved to have a Turks movie. That would be great.
I think Advent Children's biggest weakness is that it's a sequel to a book and anime series, manga, I think, or just a novel series, but also a bunch of anime stories too.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
also a cell phone game that we never got.
no, the cell phone game didn't come out then. Maybe.
No, there was a cell phone game.
You see what I mean? Like, listeners, what you're saying. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah. Too much.
No, during the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, there was a cell phone game in Japan in the late 2000s.
I get it. No, what I'm saying is like, all right. All right, so let me ask a question too. Okay, because people, this is another thing when we get into shipping is people are like, "Well, did you read the Ultimanium? Did you read blah 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 blah?" And okay, I guess I could read everything. I hear arguments on both sides. It's pro Tifa, it's pro Aerith, it's pro whatever. Sounds to me like they're definitive on not giving us an answer, and I feel like we got an answer in the original game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like here's the thing on that. It's like essentially, it's like what I always say on my channel. It's like all my arguments that I make is just based upon what I personally have read. See, the problem with a lot of people when you get to shipping or like in any argument when it comes to comics is people assume that what they have read is everything you have to read for the character. And they ignore, like in the case of comic books, 80 years of history.
Well, the problem is, you kind of struck upon something is, when you have a game that gives you a choice, in this case, Aerith or Tifa, of course they're going to want to avoid making a definitive statement. Like, look at Fallout. Look at every time a new Fallout game comes out, and they canonize an ending. Like, when Fallout 4 came out, they canonized that the Project Purity ending of Fallout 3 was the one. And like, the Fallout TV show, it canonized, it ruled out certain aspects of Fallout 4 ending. And now we're getting Season 2 New Vegas. So we're going to get a canonized ending for New Vegas. And every time you do that, there's going to be people like, "Oh, why didn't my ending happen?"
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And I think that's what it comes down to: is people are afraid to give a definitive answer to what is weird. Because, in my opinion, and this is, I guess, going back to my thesis, they're afraid to give retroactively, not giving a definitive answer to a story that, in my opinion, they gave a pretty definitive answer to. But maybe, does anyone feel differently that the original game it's ambiguous, or do you guys think it's clear that he ends up with Tifa?
Yeah, to me. Yeah. To me, Advent Children canonizes it.
Do you think so? So why do you think that? I'm just curious.
Because he's literally with Tifa in Advent Children.
He's with her, but they have no like romantic chemistry in that movie at all. They're like sleep. Like, aren't they sleeping in like different fucking beds?
Well, haven't you heard?
Right, Coleman, they sleep in different beds or some shit, right?
Well, Coleman, haven't you heard? And this is the other argument these people always use. Oh, their relationship coded. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I hate that word.
Coding is just stereotypes in a prettier packaging.
My question is, okay, so because are they in the same? Let's look at enhance their bedroom. Hold on.
Zoom in.
Oh no! I got the Zapruder.
Go to thermal.
Well, the thing is, in the game, it's very clearly said that Cloud is almost never home. Basically, they get the deliveries on the phone, and then Tifa calls him, and then he checks the voice messages. Like, you know that deleted scene where Denzel used the phone to call Tifa? Tifa's actually surprised that Cloud is calling her. Cloud is almost never home.
So this is what I don't like, again, is that their whole thing is they embrace each other at the end of the original game, and now they're not talking.
Cloud is on that Sigma grind set.
I think that could be what they're doing, but it's like, well, what he was like, and I get that we don't want to just see a romance, and we understand that, but it's like, you can have a character be in a relationship and have it be interesting, have them go and doing something as a couple.
Yeah, definitely.
But I guess that was almost me implicitly saying, I don't know that they're in a relationship in that movie. It's not. No, it seems to me almost like they're not. And
for their anniversary, they went to the saucer. It happened. You already said 5 days before the start of the movie.
No, the reason why they're not in that relationship is exactly what Vaughn you were saying earlier. It was a corporate executive decision. The kids like Sephiroth. The kids like Brood and Cloud. Like they completely negated
like the love triangle
end of the arc. Yeah, they ended
like
the arc.
Triangle.
They basically retroactively built it back.
Yeah,
and elongated the arc into the sequel, which does it a huge disservice.
I don't have all of the details of it. I don't know. Maybe they could have actually gone with Aerith or Tifa. Regardless, Something feels very off in that movie.
It's kind of hard to get with a corpse. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
It's rather difficult.
But I'm saying it is easy to get with Tifa, which is why it's confusing that he fucking doesn't.
Yes, it's very easy because she's not dead.
But I'm saying you're missing my point. My point is that in that movie, there's like I just feel like there's no
romantic
yeah. No, they do this to Spider-Man all the time.
Wait, Kenny. Are you saying it's Cloud and Geralt's horse? Geralt of Rivia's horse?
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
No, what the frick has this stream become?
Dude, this is exactly Advent Children did to Cloud what Marvel does to Spider-Man all the time. He's always in a,
my god, honey, that's great, but I don't want to hear about it right now.
Oh, okay. Well, they always like retrograde or they move back and deny Spider-Man that family. Like that's why it was a big deal when we actually saw married Mary Jane and Spider-Man with kids.
Ultimate
and a family.
Spider-Man is so good.
Yeah, and it's because, dude, like that's how you progress a story arc. You build from there. It's like, okay, he went through the confused relationships, like, you know, trying to keep it a secret. And then finally, when he gets with Mary Jane, she's like, I'll keep your secret. And he's like, I should probably not endanger her. So I'm going to move distance and all that other garbage. Like that was part of the arc. But when the arc ended they needed somewhere to go from there. And that springboard for the next arc, you know, making like a McDonald's thing. You need to now have that basis. And that basis is they're in a family, they're in a relationship, they're married, they have kids. Now, what's the story arc going to be from there?
Jared,
and they don't do that in Advent Children.
So we reviewed Ultimate Spider-Man, and Jared, don't you love how the story very much implies MJ's like, Peter, the mask stays on during sex.
It does?
I can see that. Also, I'm so sorry. I thought I had my mic muted.
Oh, no worries. No, I thought I was walking on you. I'm sorry.
I just...
Brian, bonk, bonk, bonk.
go to Hornet Jail.
The goblins are here, and they are very, they're gobbling hard tonight. But also, I want to say, before anyone else gets a chance, Aerith deserves Zack. She's with Zack. Nobody talks about it, and I feel like I'm the only person who ships it, but there was very clear romantic chemistry in Crisis Core.
Yeah, very much.
You think you're the only one that ships Aerith and Zack?
I'm the only person that I've ever seen, because everyone else
is nuts. Like, tons of people.
Before, back, but, nowadays, the only discussion I ever hear is Aerith or Tifa for Cloud, and I'm like, no, you fools! You ignorant!
Well, all right, because I want to say, because I almost feel like it's a retcon, because I feel like they kind of okay, this is where things get weird, it's like, again, I think it is that corporate meddling. I don't think it's one, because when people go, well, this developer said this, I don't think the developers were ever on the same fucking page, even in the original game.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think there were too many. You think you're going to tell me that we can't even get a whole panel, or I mean, I guess we kind of do in this case.
What the art director of a game feels should be the proper ship is not gospel just because he's the freaking art director.
Yeah, because you also had writers, you had scenario developers, you had producers, directors.
If it's a story person, if it's the person who wrote the story, then I might
You think that whole ass dev team was either Team Tifa or Team Aerith? Hell no. Hell no.
No, they took votes on a weekly basis.
And then they fucking changed it drastically, and then they kept retroactive. I'll add a scene. Imagine that they're all one-upping each other. Well, I added a scene earlier. Haha. Well, I added this scene later. Haha.
Isn't that kind of the nature of a game, though?
Yeah, but sorry, I ADHD interrupted myself. I do that a lot. But I had
Vaughn, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't at one point Aerith supposed to survive disc 1? Like, I've seen scenes where if you hack Aerith into the game, she actually has dialogue.
I think that's still cope from people not willing to accept her death, personally.
I mean,
I don't think she was ever
both be true. Can't both be true.
It's possible.
Or originally she was supposed to survive, then they
haven't heard. I've heard that was all debunked, but I don't know if that's true. Because I'm pretty sure, because it was, what the hell was, no, it wasn't Eiji Aonuma. One of the guys, is it Yoshinori Kitase? One of the developers, I forget who, based it on his mother's passing. But that could have been later in development. is that's why Aerith's death is so impactful.
You know more than me, so I defer.
Yeah,
Can I also say that people?
But I'm also admitting ignorance in some areas, by the way.
One of the biggest reasons that people think that Aerith and Tifa should, or not Aerith and Cloud should be together, is because something his mom says, and I can't remember the direct quote, but like it's something to do with the fact that she's kind of like the kind of girl that his mother thought he'd be into or should be with, or something like that.
Tifa or Aerith?
Aerith. And I was like, but
no big titties for you, son.
No,
sorry, Cloud.
No mommy milkers for you.
We have a,
No
there's like a height limit. There's like a breast size limit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got to fit this squad.
B cups,
my son.
B cups,
yes.
maybe C cups, not whatever the hell.
I mean, there's a pretty clear line. All the big titties people like Tifa. All the small titty people like Aerith.
You think that's it? That's it?
I like them both.
I mean, I am a big titty guy, so maybe I'm.
I mean, I like big boobs, and I cannot lie.
I'm a boob connoisseur that likes quality over quantity.
I love the fact that nobody ever brings Yuffie or Barrett into the discussion.
Why should they be into the discussion?
I saw this fantastic meme on Twitter that says, when a man first meets a woman, he stares into her heart. Her boobs just happen to be in the way.
That's good. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you with your discussion about the mom because you were saying something interesting lore-wise, and I immediately went to titties. I do apologize.
I mean, to be fair,
happens a lot.
It's forgivable.
To be fair, titties are awesome. We all love titties here.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's not really a controversial statement. Sorry. That was the girlfriend.
I agree.
That was like
The subtitle just said kids and noises.
I was like, wait, was that real?
All right. Let me just ask, babe, are titties awesome?
Based.
I just love in the background. You
based.
just heard that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
It was like, is there a ghost in the stream?
yeah, it was like a whisper, the slightest whisper.
Oh God, that's well timed.
No. What always like annoys me about video game design, coming from a TTRPG background, is the limitations.
They've been drinking the boobies.
No, is that so? You're given this choice. Okay, there's a fork in the road, and you're given this choice. The problem, though, is it's very linear.
Mm-hmm.
Like the destination is the same regardless, and that is something that the limitations of technology and resources have screwed us over. But in all actuality, the game should have allowed you to go either way, and it didn't. So my biggest question would be is, well, what was, rather than debating like what I personally feel or what other people personally feel or what they got out of it, was what was the original intent? There was a story written linearly. God damn, I'm Asian. I can't pronounce that word. Linearly.
Words are failing him. Clear.
But anyway, so the just the idea of, well, what did the writer intend? That would be my biggest question. Is when they wrote this story out, they wrote it in a very linear fashion, and then all of those forks were made to divert, but not they ultimately all led back to the same exact conclusion. You know what I mean? There's not like 30 endings to Final Fantasy VII.
Well, that was before Nomura got a hold of it.
Yeah. But I would love to pick the brains of the original writer and be like, what was your intention for a love story here? Because we're theorizing, which is awesome, but I would love to hear.
But here's the other problem.
Guy that wrote it.
Here's the other problem. It's been almost 30 years since that game came out, and his intention may have been one way, but now all these years later, he may have changed his mind, and he may think, oh, my intention was actually the other one. That's the problem with like you're so far after the fact that like these people may change their mind either for politics or to changing winds.
Yeah, point there. Corporate bullshit. Yeah.
I mean, look at how many times James Gunn changes his mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jared, you had to have known I was going there.
Because it ultimately, in my opinion, it would shape my opinion or my overall view of the legitimacy of arguing for either love interest. I personally, my bias bringing into this, I'm totally Team Tifa. like hands down.
Yeah.
I thought she was more attractive. I thought she was a more useful character. I know, blah blah blah.
Well, we know you enjoy.
Yeah, she had large tracts of land.
Large tracts of land. But like you could play dinosaurs on those things. You could play little classic dinosaurs.
Yeah, but yeah, you could do Shakespeare on that balcony. But
Shakespeare
the thing
on
is,
the balcony.
Oh, man.
But the point I'm trying to make though is like, is my bias because I followed the story as it was intended?
Yeah.
Or is it because of my own aesthetic choice?
That's a good point. Yeah.
And that goes back to personal versus canonical. You know, like what is the character that we would pick? What is our version of Cloud?
Because to be fair, and giving the Tifa, fans a bone, I mean, if your first love was Aerith, and then you die and you're stuck with Tifa, that ain't a bad option.
Yeah, I know. That's a good consolation.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! The girly girl died, and now the big-breasted girl who can kick, who can
and is in love with my
ass.
Yeah,
in love with
actually
me. And who can kill 30 men is in love with me. Oh no, the horror.
But either way, I still think that in the whole scheme of the world, and this was another one of my theses in the video, is it's kind of there's like a natural order to things, is my whole thesis. Just going on, because let's talk about the romance thing. Let's go to a thematic level. One of my main points in my video that I kind of discovered through analyzing the game, and maybe this is just my interpretation, maybe it wasn't intended, but this is just analyzing the events overall. I think that there's kind of a thematic through line in that there is a natural order in the planet and in the world. And whenever something goes against that and perverts it, it's punished, right? Let's look at Shinra. Shinra are the bad guys because they are taking this and they are perverting it. They are taking this Mako energy, they are perverting it, they're poisoning, they are killing the planet, right? Sephiroth is a perversion from his inception because Jenova is from outside of this world. She disturbs the natural order, and everything that results from Jenova is a perversion. Hojo is always perverting things with science and Jenova cells. Everyone that violates the natural order of things goes through. And the reason why Cloud is being punished for most of the game is because he has these Jenova cells, this impurity within him.
Geostigma.
And that's not what it was called in the original, right? Wasn't Geostigma a new thing?
That was Advent Children.
Right. But I'm saying in the original game, he's plagued with Jenova cells. And only by ridding himself of all of that and embracing who he really is, once he finds who he really is, who's he with? Tifa. Once Tifa finds who she really is, who's she with? Cloud. And you can totally argue that they decide in the live stream that, hey, we're friends. We weren't friends. Now we are. I feel like you could easily argue that at the end of the game, you could argue they're not romantically and they're just they're still figuring it out, but they're
friends with stat bonuses.
Because I'm sorry, that fucking go watch that scene where they're laying together. I just don't buy that they're just friends.
They're friends with stat bonuses.
Like, you can argue that.
I'm trying to make that joke work.
But I just feel like Cloud having met his true love in a time where he didn't even know who he was just doesn't seem right to me. Like, he was an unreliable narrator and character the entire time Aerith knew him and didn't. He was a real person when Tifa knew him when he was young, and a real person at the end of the game. That is why I think it's Tifa.
And that's the other wrinkle.
The entire time he knew Aerith, she saw something real in him, but she didn't know the full thing.
She saw Zack.
She couldn't pull the real Cloud out the way Tifa could. But Tifa wouldn't have had the strength to do that if it wasn't for Aerith, if it wasn't for Cloud, in my opinion, because I think that the whole point is Aerith leaves an impact on them that allows them to carry on to their journeys. And she journeys back to the center, back to Zack. But even then, I'd question if Zack was even meant to be. I feel like Zack was an accidental stroke of genius because I don't think that it was. I think it was originally meant to be more up in the air. And I think after the game came out, they realized, well, that actually makes the arc even better if she's going back to Zack. And I think that's why they doubled down on it in Crisis Core. Because in the original game, it's like Zach was a guy that she kind of saw, but they were not dating. She thought he left her for another girl. And then you go back in Crisis Core, and that's not the way she and Zach interact is fundamentally different, you know? And I feel like they've changed it. They've retconned it where they were lovers, where it used to be like they were kind of thing, but now it's like they're lovers.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're trying to, I think deep down, they all want it to be Cloud and Tifa and Zach and Aerith. I think it's also just cleaner, but they also don't want to, because they already have a group of fans that feel a certain way.
Well, and the thing is, you're also touched upon another wrinkle in this whole debate is, for a large part of Final Fantasy VII, Cloud is operating with Zach's memories.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has more of like Zach's personalities. So the person that Aerith is attracted to may not necessarily be Cloud. She's attracted to Zach, the Zach portion of him that's in there. Like the way he acts, the way his memories are. So that's also another thing we can talk about is Aerith doesn't love the true Cloud. She loves the Cloud that is Zach.
I don't know.
Snyder?
I do think she actually likes the true Cloud, but
Aerith loves Zack Snyder. That is canon now.
I don't.
I had to say it because there were so many times people said Zach, so I was like, I'm waiting for the right moment to throw that in there.
I would.
The Lego Maniac. Sorry.
Okay. Even Vaughn's like, I just can't.
No, I well, you know my thoughts on Zack Snyder. You know, I'm
we
neutral ground here.
Know.
I'm being a good
I was
boy.
gone. What did I miss?
We almost missed Vaughn.
I was
and Jared
explaining.
Getting into Vaughn and Jared were almost like this.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Jared and I have just kind of gone like we see each other we're like. And
Jared and Vaughn,
you know what I mean? Like, I think
because it's like we've had this conversation. I know where Vaughn stands.
Yeah, and I know where he stands. And what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Yell at each other? Yeah, we should. No,
I know.
Jared,
it would make for good
Jared,
content.
Actually, I think we should do 5-hour streams bitching about each other. Is what I think.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Hell yeah, I could go 5 hours.
We should do like fake. I don't know what. I don't think I have 5 hours worth of material to complain with you about.
A wrestling work. It's a wrestling work.
I also don't think I have that kind of time to waste. I don't think enough people would care about that drama, including us. So
no, I wouldn't. I'd lose interest. I'm like, okay, what did Vaughn say? I don't care.
Jared would lose interest 45 minutes into the 5-hour stream.
I think I would lose it earlier than that. To be honest, I don't think I could get through it, even ironically. But anyway. So what I was saying that I was arguing basically that the entire time Aerith knew Cloud, he wasn't Cloud. And then when I reached his final moment, I guess this is kind of the point, is we do get, like, the last act of the game, we do get the real Cloud. Now the question is, in the last act of that game, is he dating Tifa? I would say he not immediately because he's focused on the planet. But my thought process is once they have a moment, they lay together. And it's pretty obvious to me, at least, that it's implied that they have sex based on the way they interact.
So you're saying that Cloud made Tifa's limit break?
I am.
No.
She literally drops to her knees and is like, "Oh my god, you guys are watching us!" Like, were they just cuddling? And she was embarrassed that they were cuddling. Come on.
No. Cloud was about to execute his finisher.
I think he did.
At least they weren't holding hands. This filthy degenerate.
No, but that's Japanese though. Like the culture, there's different cultural
Someone
things
did
there.
say
Where,
that.
like they do, you know, like the nosebleed thing when a dude sees a hot chick. Like it's completely lost on us.
So, what are you saying that they didn't fuck?
I'm saying that there is a possibility that they didn't because that overreaction is something that's like an anime trope.
Not only that, but Tifa is portrayed as a bit more shy than Aerith. Quite a bit more shy. She's like the more reserved country girl to Aerith's bombastic city girl.
Also, can I just say, Cowboy Tifa is probably one of my more favorite outfits for her.
Giggity. Reverse cowboy feature.
Oh god! Yes, I'm sure Tifa knows how to ride that bull.
Oh god!
I know what Rule 43 is.
I mean, we all know what happens. You know, Tifa's like, well, when in Rome.
Yeah.
Yuffie is the character that just steals our hearts. Yuffie is the character that steals our hearts.
Yeah, Tifa. All right, so Tifa being closed off, that is a valid point. But again, and maybe it's just a Japanese thing, but literally drops to her knees and holds her head and does this over cuddling.
Yeah. That's Japanese. Like, that's an anime trope.
But like, if she's, I mean, I guess
it's kind of like, you know, why the
it could be confirmation bias. Yeah, it could be confirmation bias. Oh, because he's compensating for. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's.
I mean, have you seen Cloud Sword? Have you seen that sword? The dude is clearly compensating.
No, they're designed that way because it's a throwback to the old 8-bit Sprite days, where you needed a visual distinction between a dagger and a sword. So they made the swords obnoxiously large. And they just carried that over. They carried that trope over. And Japan does that all the time.
So like you're saying that Cloud whispered into Tifa's ear, "You want to see my Buster Blade?"
Yeah. But like the whole like I'm honestly surprised like there wasn't a scene where like Cloud gets a nosebleed looking at her. You know, or like that, you know, they always do this weird like gasp sound whenever it's like, hey, she's hot, and he goes, oh, you know, it's like, why did you make that noise? Like that is like the opposite of wow, that chick's hot sound. But those are anime tropes that they carry over in these
Nori
movies. Yeah,
actually, it's gonna. I know this is unpopular. I like Crisis Core.
It's okay.
I had to say it.
It's okay. This is a non-judgment free zone.
A non-judgment free zone? So it is a judgment.
Man.
Damn it.
So we're extra judgmental.
Double negative.
But actually,
you're like Asian parent? Why you're not doctor?
Pokemon Master? Why no Pokemon PhD?
Yeah, you get A. Why not A+?
You get A+? Why not A++?
I like the story that Crisis Core gives to the Buster Sword. How it wasn't just Zack's sword that Cloud got from his corpse, but also it was
Zack got it from Angeal's corpse.
Well, no, he got it before Angel died. I'm pretty sure.
No, it was afterwards actually.
No, and this is again going back because Flaragar's making a good point. This is why we're all talking about like we all had our bias because we played the game, we put ourselves in the character, so we're always biased.
I mean, it's a role-playing game,
so we're biased toward the character that we lean to. But I mean, if I were to look at it in an objective lens, I don't. It's hard, you know, because I have to. Because that brings up a good point. Is like, okay, if that's the case, then why is he so closed off from her in Advent Children? And that's why I struggle when you say you think Advent Children is very pro Tifa. Is I'm like, are you sure? Because it doesn't feel like it's pro Tifa to me.
Well, it's definitely not pro Aerith because, well, she dead.
That doesn't mean that it's not pro Aerith, because the argument people who are pro Aerith.
Are you saying that Cloud wants a relationship?
But the point I'm making is that the implication.
Vaughn, do you need to tell us something?
The implication is that he's still clinging on to the memory of her and he hasn't moved on.
Yeah.
But that goes back to what you were saying about like earlier with the corporate meddling.
Yeah.
Where they want to revert. I don't want to say retard, but like pull back the arc to what it was in the game rather than giving us like a Han Solo that's not a scoundrel.
Okay, but also keep in mind at the end of the movie, Cloud sees her spirit walking off with Zack, and it's sort of like they're both okay, and he's happy knowing that he has that closure.
Yeah,
but they're okay. They're together.
That's
the two people he loves.
If there's one thing that the movie does explicitly state, is that Zack and Aerith end up with each other in heaven. Like, that is explicit.
Yeah. Which brings me to the point that he probably is not with Tifa in that movie and that he's going to move on with her afterward. Because, again, he cuts, and then it cuts to her looking on longingly. So it feels like, and this is what bothers me is about, because Advent Children, we're talking about Advent Children so much, but it's like, yeah, that's what it seems to me, is like, it's almost like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's like he's ready to move on to her from Aerith. So it seems to me like That's the thing. But I would argue that he already kind of did that in the game. And that's why it feels like a retread. But I guess...
And this is a problem I have, is Aerith dies at the end of Disc 1.
Yeah.
There's like, what, 2 other discs worth of content?
No, the Disc 3 really is only, like... Disc 3 is really just like the ending.
So, like an entire disc worth of content, entire disc worth of character development after that, and then you get the ending. So, what I'm saying is, like, there's a whole chunk of content, a whole chunk of character development he has to go through, and that, like, that death. So he shouldn't be as hung up. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, like, put things together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, no, you can't really tell someone how long they can and can't grieve over someone's death.
7 years. That's what we give you. 7 years.
So, Nick, you said you read the novels?
I never got a chance to read them because I could never find them, but I do know because I used to do a lot of looking up stuff on the wikis when I was bored at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, the teachers didn't really know because anytime we get laptops, I'd go off in a corner and kind of sit by myself somewhere they couldn't see me. And if they tried to look, I'd be like, fucking rude.
Sneaky. Nick's is sneaky.
But, What? She rejects Zack. I refuse to believe that she rejects Zack. That's not happening. It's not possible.
Nyx is rejecting your reality, substituting her own.
No, but I think it would be really stupid of them to have her reject Zack. Like, because they got along so well in Crisis Core. And there's that one message left to Zack after he's disappeared, and he's facing down the Shinra soldiers. And it's like all these little wishes, and she said, like, oh, it would take too long to tell you them all, so I'll just simplify it as, I want to spend more time with you. And there's something about that I didn't really feel it back in the day, but now anytime I remember it, I'm just like, it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because she never got to know what happened to Zack. She didn't. As far as she knew, he just kind of up and disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah. I think in the original game, she suspects that he ran off with another girl. Which is like, if you remember that.
I don't think I ever saw
Go back to the Gungaga part where they visit and you talk to each girl and Tifa's lying. She's like, I don't know him. It just sounded like you, which is a blatant lie. Whereas Aerith is like, yeah, I think he went off with another girl.
Damn. But there was one thing I will say I like about the Rebirth. They wanted to call it a remake, but everyone was like, it's not samey enough to be a remake. I like the fact that they're kind of bringing Zack back and giving that hopefully another chance, because they had really good chemistry. They were really cute together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to me...
And it's not fair to them.
I don't know. It seems to me like they're going to do some inconclusive stuff, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like they overcomplicated an already complicated story.
Yeah.
That's
they went Kingdom Hearts.
And it's like, do we need timelines? And we already have
to be fair,
aliens.
Nomura is the one behind this. This is Nomura.
He was in the original, but he didn't direct the original. You know, he designed the characters, and maybe he stuck to that.
Because Nomura is like the guy who literally has to watch YouTube videos to catch up on the lore he created.
That's a scary thought.
No, he's literally said that. I don't know if you saw. Have you seen that, Nyx?
Yeah, I have. I'm just saying, it's a scary thought when you realize how many YouTube videos pertaining to Kingdom Hearts keep their own biases in. So none of it's like 100% fact.
Man, I don't think I'm ever gonna get into Kingdom Hearts. It just seems like too much.
I was really disappointed because Game 3, like, the one titled Kingdom Hearts 3, not the third game in the series, but Kingdom Hearts 3 did not have any of the Final Fantasy characters, and they kind of go about not even really mentioning them, and I'm like, no, we came here for one reason only. Where the hell is Cloud Sephiroth?
I love how in the
I
first
want my
Kingdom Hearts
second
game,
chance against that silver-haired pretty boy.
I love, yeah, like how in Kingdom Hearts 1, Sephiroth is actually the true final boss of the game.
I don't think he was. I think you could fight him in 2.
Yeah, he's a bonus boss in Final Fantasy 1. In Kingdom Hearts 1. You have to like get the right to challenge Sephiroth. He's the hardest boss in the game.
But actually, fun fact about Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts, he's voiced by Lance Bass of NSYNC fame.
Oh, God.
No, he does a great job, actually. He's very menacing.
So you're saying he did the role with no strings attached?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
He's actually very proud of it.
Deadpool dancing!
He's actually really proud of it, too. I don't know if he still has it in his Twitter, but the last time I checked, he did.
Huh.
It's pretty cool, yeah. George Newbern voiced him in Advent Children and in Crisis Core.
I love George Newbern.
Yeah, me too.
I love his
So
Superman.
you're saying he lived in a world of cardboard? Nick knows what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I know.
Jared, how does it feel that you have a person who's voiced both Sephiroth and Superman?
Twice, actually. There is the guy from one of the Superman TV shows also is voicing the remake Sephiroth.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 2 Sephiroths, 2 Superman, or maybe it's like the Japanese voice actor. I can't remember.
All right.
But either way, I kind of find it very funny that outside of his unusual roles, George Newbern has found himself playing space aliens twice.
Oh God.
But like he's got such a different voice for both of them that you can tell it's George Newbern, but like at the same time you're like, damn, is that really George Newbern?
Wait, they made a Father of the Bride Part 3, really?
I don't know.
I'm looking at George Newbern's
Cloud's voice actor is actually kind of interesting because he was in Young and the Restless soap opera show that my aunt really used to like. I don't know if she still watches it or if it's still around.
My favorite is in Kingdom Hearts. The voice actor for Squall is David Boreanaz.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Damn.
Angel, literally, they got Angel to voice Squall.
Yeah, they get some pretty unusual people to voice these characters, and it's kind of funny to me because I mean George Newbern had Superman under his belt. But, like, the only thing I ever found on Cloud's voice actor was that he did Young and the Restless. So I'm like, how do you go from big dramatic soap opera to sad, mopey, emo boy Cloud? And, like, he did a good job. He sounds really great. And, oh, my God, his voice is amazing. But at the same time, how do you go from that to that in your career?
Desperation, I guess.
Can't say it's desperation. That'd be really freaking cool.
Yeah, I've met George Newbern.
Sorry, Nix.
And I didn't realize until he was at his table. I was at his table. I saw Sephiroth print. I was like, "Oh, you did Sephiroth?"
Nice.
He is Sephiroth. He is like the Sephiroth for me.
Well, for me too. God, I don't. I love Lance Bass's Sephiroth too. He's got
Lance
really
Bass
good.
Is the newest one, right?
No, Lance Bass was Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
The newest one, I can't remember his name, but I know he also did Superman. So
I will be right back. You guys keep talking, and I will be able to hear you.
It's actually kind of funny, but I actually really am upset that they didn't bring back Advent Children voice actors for the newest, for the remake and rebirth. Like, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of disappearing not to hear Steve Bloom will be voicing Vincent as he had in Advent Children. I love Matt Mercer, don't get me wrong. He's English Jotaro, so how could I not love him? Then he does a whole bunch of other voices that I love that I can't remember all of them right now, but like we lose something in not having Steve Bloom.
Yeah, he made a great Spike Spiegel from
Wolverine too. He's a great Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very great. I think Scott McNeil's my only other favorite Wolverine voice actor, actually.
Do you guys remember Pride of the X-Men, where they made
what I mean, Australian?
Yeah, he's like, she's no good to us. I'm like, what the hell is that?
he also had like the worst sound when his claws came out. It was like nails on a chalkboard. I was like, what the hell
He's
is this?
Australian Canadian in that one.
So fun fact about Scott McNeil and Wolverine.
Before it was a thing.
He showed up to work to do the X-Men thing, and he showed up like on his motorcycle, and he was like had the long hair and the cowboy hat. Stan Lee took one look at him and be like, "Oh, we casted the perfect person."
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. He still wears that cowboy hat ensemble too, a lot from what I've seen.
So wait, he played Wolverine in X-Men Evolution?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm seeing what else.
My favorite version of Wolverine.
The fact that we almost got the X-Men Evolution Wolverine suit and Deadpool Wolverine makes me so mad.
Right? I would have loved to see that on the big screen.
I'm sure Jared would have preferred
Stalker's
that.
any good?
What?
A video game?
Or the show? There's is it a movie or a show?
Darkstalker's a video game?
Yeah, there's an anime which is okay. The westernized USA Cartoon Network or
oh my god,
that is so bad.
But I will say they got a lore accurate Morgan.
Yeah.
That she is supposed to be Scottish. So
yeah, Morgan Ainsling.
Yeah.
Or Ashling.
She's Scottish.
Yeah. If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
All right. Let's wrap up here. I think we had a good run.
And so the outcome is Cloud plus Tifa.
Yeah, I don't think that. But I think that was
declared the winner.
The problem is it was declared the winner before the stream. Like there was no debate. Like
so Nick, Nick, largely, how does it feel to lose a debate on your own show?
I don't think he did because he was like, yeah, I agree with you right out the gate. He didn't even fight for it.
Go with it.
It's like the Wimplo of debating.
And in celebration, I even made my avatar Tifa.
There you go.
Nice. All right. We're gonna go from the bottoms up. Nix, where can people find you and what you got going on?
Oh, so you're gonna have to give me a quick second. I gotta pop over to my Twitch.
All right, Vaughn, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Well, I won't answer that, but I will answer what I'm doing. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you can subscribe there, Vaughn Coleman. I'm Vaughn Coleman on all socials. And most importantly of all, I'm not sure if I could screen share.
You should be able to.
All right, 1 second. If you go to my website, rebeloasisstudios.com, you can actually get my comic book now. I've had 8 orders so far. 8 orders so far on my website. So you can go ahead, you can get the book. Also, issue 2 is going to be coming in January for the campaign. I'm actually giving lettering revisions. Also, we have, if you see this, we are accepting submissions for stories and pieces of artwork. If you want to hear more for a horror anthology, you click submit here and it will take you to a Google form where you can learn all about it. Of course, I've got contact info and all of that. Digital store will be coming soon, but for now, you can get a copy. If you want to guarantee that you get a first printing of Phenomenova issue 1, this is the best way to do it. Because things are selling pretty good. They're selling pretty good.
Yeah.
So
nice.
All right.
And give yourself that good gift for Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. You earned it. I'll tell you, or get someone else that gift. Great.
They earned it.
They earned it.
Yes. Because only the cool people read Phenomenova.
Oh, exactly. Oh, wait, and did you see that Final Fantasy VII homage cover on my website?
Oh, no.
Wait, let me
it was in the lineup.
Let me go back.
All right. Let's go back.
Right
there,
the third from the right.
Oh, that was
there might be
cool,
some.
man.
I might make shirts of them if you got, but like the covers, I promise limited. They'll be very limited. You could probably get them. I think I'll make it like $50 if you want to get the. But there's not going to be much left over. I printed a very limited amount, but
all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Nix, go.
I have a Twitch, as you can see from the link. I play old-ish Zelda games. I've got a playthrough of Majora's Mask going through, and a playthrough of Wind Waker going through, and I'm also like putting them on my my YouTube. Well, I didn't do it for the first half of the first like Wind Waker playthrough, but that it's going to be rectified eventually, maybe potentially, or we'll just leave it lost to time. Who cares?
Everyone, go follow Nyx. He's a good person.
Oh, no!
God! See, that would be the last.
No.
That ship would be the last of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boo! Boo this man!
Boo!
I was saying Boo Earns.
Oh God, I understood that reference. All right, Chris. All right. So when the riots come to your bodega, what rifle will you be using?
Click, click, boom! Yeah, I got my my pre-page or my pre-launch sign-up page. There's a link. Thanks. For Infinitel Chronicles #2. Yeah, we're hoping to launch in February, end of February, early March, just outside of the holiday cursed area.
Yeah.
In addition to that, the winners of the 100 sign-up giveaway that signed up for the mailing list, their stuff's got shipped out today. So I'm hoping that we'll see some social media reactions sometime next week. And yeah, in addition to that, I'm still working on the goodies for book 2. I don't want to give away too much of it just yet, but yeah, I think I've found somebody that I'll be working with for moving forward. I'm not 100% sure or not. I don't want to give it all away just yet, but
yeah, don't give up the goods. Don't give up the goods too early, sir.
Yeah, I'm just saying that this artist, I've been a big fan of this artist for a while, and it's great to be working with them.
Nice. So, Jared, what super wonderful things do you have in store for us?
Well, on that, Britt and I will be discussing the comic, The Day in the Life of Wonder Woman, so that should be fun. Tonight, we're going live for Comically Dark. We're going to talk about Deathstroke joining Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. We're going to be talking about Creature Commandos. We're going to be talking about the ending of Superman and Lois and the slight amount of controversy that happened with the finale.
What happened? I don't know what happened.
It's... Okay, I'll tease you. Basically, they show like the future of Superman having kids, and the problem is it's like all like everyone else became normal and no one has powers, and I'm like, what? But anyway,
this is communism.
But anyway, so then for movie night, we're talking about Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and on Wednesday, I'm releasing a video how I would write Superman.
I hope you actually do get to write Superman one day, sir. All right.
Lois,
as for me,
better not hope I write Superman.
Yes, Lois will be going on a date with a stray pipe and a rock.
Just read the Nightwing Death and Injustice, and that's pretty much what I'm going for.
That's what I said. Yeah. So all right. So tomorrow.
Ever.
Yep. So yes. Oh my God. Yep. So tomorrow I'll be playing some more Twilight Princess. Nyx will be joining me for that.
Oh, nice.
Still gotta play Breath of the Wild.
I still gotta play those.
I'm doing it in the way Nintendo does not want me to do.
Which is
at all
on PC.
Oh,
yay!
I gotta play. I played Twilight Princess, the first one I ever played, but never played much of it. I couldn't get past the cat part because I was a dumb kid, so I just stopped playing.
That's fair.
All right, and then on Monday for Comics Watch, me and this beautiful gentleman right beside me will be reviewing the original Turtles run.
Oh.
So, hey, Jared, Wonder Bat's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I was trying. I wanted to make sure like he was paying attention. But thank you everyone for joining us. This was a really, really good stream. Thank you, Vaughn.
Of course.
Fuck you, Jared. Fuck you.
Just for that, I'm awarding Vaughn 100 more points and deducting 100 from your total. So far you have negative.
Your
100.
points are your points are meaningless, just like your streak. Anyway, I can let you show you the door. You're the one to walk through it.
Not for sucks.